Hi, I'm Tony Stewart, and one of my favorite places in all of motorsports is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. My friends there are passionate about the future of sprint car racing, starting with the preservation of its amazing history. Please spend a few moments watching the video and see how the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum can become even a greater place for you to enjoy. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm obviously not Tony Stewart, but it's certainly an honor to follow him on this video. My name is Lou Lewis. I'm a lifelong fan of auto racing, specifically sprint cars. Over the past 60 years, I have grown this collection of mostly West Coast racing memorabilia. I have decided that when I cross the final finish line, and maybe even before, these treasures will be on their way to Knoxville, Iowa, to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. I feel there's no better place to house my lifetime collection. We've visited the museum several times and noticed only one problem. They are in need of a bigger, better staging and storage facility to house my collection as well as other collections that will be coming their way. Keep watching. You'll see what I mean. Thank you for dropping by and come back anytime.
Good afternoon. My name is Dennis Johnson, and I volunteer at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, which is just 3 blocks up the street here. And as many of you are aware, they've had some great historical and race car themes and exhibits in the museum over the last 5 summers. And many of those cars, before they went into display in the museum, were actually stored in my garage here. And I was thrilled to do that to help the museum at the time. It was fun for me. My wife was not so thrilled, and actually the insurance company for the museum was not so thrilled. In the future, my garage really can't be the solution for storage of these cars to continue the great displays that they've been having like in the last 5 years. My friends at the museum can fill you in on the rest of the story.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Lou, and thank you, Dennis. I'm Bob Baker, the Executive Director of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Our museum has been promoting the future of sprint car racing and preserving the past for over 25 years. Good. For many years, some amazing race cars, sprint cars, super modifieds have all passed through this old car wash building, which sits right next to our museum. Many of these cars will one day be featured inside of our museum, and until recently, the car wash was filled to the rafters with sprint car racing's history and archives. 3 months ago, we were able to acquire this building, which sits only 2 blocks from our museum. This is an excellent storage space for our printed publications, drivers' uniforms, trophies, and other racing memorabilia as they await their turn in our museum. And right here behind me will be where our new staging and storage facility will house many of the cars awaiting their turn in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The story-and-a-half structure will also be the receiving point for collections like Lou Lewis's Holy Grail of West Coast sprint car racing. Friends have given or pledged over $1 million for these buildings, and we are in a sprint to the finish to raise the remaining $100,000.
And I say thank you as well. I'm Erin Crocker Evernham, sprint car driver and currently on the board of directors of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Like Tony Stewart and Lou Lewis, many others across this country are willing to share their piece of sprint car racing history with you by giving or loaning it to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame Museum. But the only way for the Hall of Fame Museum to receive and display more sprint car history is with a new archives and staging facility. This building is a critical first step to a bigger and better museum. Please make a generous donation today, and, just as importantly, please pass this message on to as many of your sprint car racing friends as you can. We hope to see you in Knoxville.